James woke up one morning and found himself staring at the ceiling, lost in thought. Beside him, Anna was still sleeping, her once slim figure now more rounded from the months of eating fatty foods. He sighed, realizing that something was wrong, not with Anna but with him. As the days passed, he had started feeling less attracted to her, and more troubling than that, he found himself hesitating whenever they had to go out together. It wasn't the same anymore. Anna, once full of confidence and joy, now seemed more withdrawn and self-conscious. He used to love how she carried herself, how heads turned wherever they went. But now, when they were out in public, he noticed that she tried to hide behind loose clothes, often avoiding eye contact with strangers. James couldn't help but feel guilty, though he didn't fully understand why at the time. It had been a few months since he'd taken David's advice to stock the house with high-fat foods, and while it had stopped other men from pursuing Anna, it had also changed the dynamic between them. The woman he had once been so proud to show off was now someone he wasn't sure how to connect with anymore. Unable to shake the growing discomfort, James decided to talk to David again. Maybe he could offer some more advice on what to do. They met at the same bar where they'd had the initial conversation. James sat down heavily at the table and shook his head. "David, I don't know, man. I thought I'd be happy when men stopped asking Anna out, but something's wrong." David raised an eyebrow, taking a sip of his beer. "What's the problem? Guys aren't hitting on her anymore, right?" James sighed. "No, they're not. But I'm not attracted to her the way I used to be. She's changed so much and it's affecting me. I don't feel the same spark anymore. And now, whenever we go out, I feel uncomfortable." David leaned back in his chair, a smirk on his face. "So let me get this straight. You came to me because you couldn't handle guys asking your wife out, right? Now you got what you wanted, and you're still not happy." James frowned. "It's not that simple, David." David shrugged. "Look, man, you can't have it both ways. You wanted men to stop chasing after her, and they did. Now you're saying you're not attracted to her because she put on weight. That's on you, not her. You got what you wanted." James felt a pang of guilt, but David continued, his voice turning serious. "You should have appreciated what you had, James. Anna is a beautiful woman, and that's why guys wanted her in the first place. That's why you married her, right? Because she's pretty, smart, and most importantly, she loves you. But you let your jealousy get the better of you. Now you're here complaining that she's not the same. Well, what did you expect?" James was silent for a moment, letting David's words sink in. He had never thought about it that way. Yes, he had been jealous of the attention Anna got from other men. But he hadn't considered the fact that her beauty was part of the package when he married her. Instead of appreciating her for who she was, he had tried to change her. David shook his head. "Look, man, it's simple. You can't have it both ways. Either she's the beautiful woman that catches attention, or she's the one that doesn't get noticed. You chose to make her the latter, but now you're regretting it. It's on you to fix it if you want things to go back to how they were." James left the bar that day with a heavy heart. David's words echoed in his mind all the way home. He started to realize just how much he had taken Anna for granted. Yes, she was beautiful, and yes, other men had noticed that. But wasn't it a privilege to be married to someone who was so attractive? Shouldn't he have been proud instead of jealous? When he got home, Anna was in the kitchen, wearing an oversized shirt and sweatpants. She barely looked up when he walked in. Her usual warmth seemed dimmed, and that hurt him more than anything. Without saying a word, James walked over to her and wrapped his arms around her from behind, pulling her into a tight hug. Anna stiffened at first, surprised by the sudden affection. "I'm sorry," James whispered, his voice thick with emotion. Anna turned around slowly, looking up at him with a confused expression. "Sorry for what?" James took a deep breath, feeling the weight of his actions settling on his chest. "For everything, Anna. For what I've done. The truth is, I made you fat on purpose." Anna stepped back, her eyes widening in shock. "What are you talking about, James?" "I was jealous," he confessed, feeling the shame rise up in his throat. "I hated the way other men would look at you, the way they would ask you out even when they knew you were married. I couldn't handle it, Anna. I thought if you gained weight they would stop, and they did. But I didn't think about how it would affect you or us. I'm so sorry. Anna stared at him, disbelief and hurt crossing her face. So, all the fatty foods, all the snacks, that was intentional. You did that to me on purpose. James nodded slowly, his heart aching at the pain in her eyes. Yes, I was wrong, and I didn't think about how it would make you feel. I didn't want to lose you to anyone else. Anna's face hardened as the truth sank in. She stepped away from him, crossing her arms over her chest. James, do you even realize how much you've hurt me? I trusted you, and now you're telling me that you did all this because you were jealous. You didn't trust me to handle it. James's throat felt tight, and he reached out to her, but she pulled back. Una, please. I know I messed up, but I want to make things right. I love you. Anna shook her head, her voice trembling with emotion. I need some time, James. I can't just forgive you for something like this. For the next few days, Anna barely spoke to him. She avoided eye contact and kept her distance, and James could feel the tension building between them. Each night, he would try to apologize again, but Anna's silence was deafening. The house felt colder without her laughter, and the guilt gnawed at him. James knew that he had to keep trying. He couldn't lose her, not after everything they'd been through. He spent every day thinking of ways to make it up to her. He helped around the house more, made dinner, and left little notes of apology, hoping that she would see how sorry he was. Finally, one evening, after nearly a week of silence, Anna sat down beside him on the couch. I've been thinking, she said softly, her eyes still full of hurt but also something softer. I can't believe you did what you did, James. But I can see that you're trying to make things right. I'm not going to lie, it's going to take time for me to fully forgive you, but I'm willing to work on it. We need to rebuild trust. James's heart lifted at her words, and he nodded eagerly. Thank you, Anna. I'll do whatever it takes. I just want us to be happy again. Anna looked at him for a long moment, then sighed. We need to make some changes. I'm going to start working on getting back to the weight where I feel comfortable again, and I want your support. No more fatty foods, no more tricks. We're going to do this together. James smiled, relieved that they were finally moving forward. Course. I'll be with you every step of the way. And so, over the next few months, they worked together to help Anna regain her confidence. She started exercising, eating healthier, and slowly shedding the weight she had gained. James supported her every step of the way, not just because of her appearance, but because he wanted her to feel like herself again. The process wasn't easy, and there were days when Anna struggled, but James was always there to encourage her. He realized that the most important thing wasn't whether other men found her attractive, it was about how she felt about herself and how they felt about each other. As Anna's confidence returned, so did the spark in their relationship. They laughed more, went out together, and for the first time in a long time, James stopped worrying about what other people thought. He had learned to appreciate the beautiful, intelligent, and loving woman that Anna was, both inside and out. Their love had been tested, but in the end, it had grown stronger. And James knew that he would never take Anna, or their marriage, for granted again.